Here is John Andretti coming in, the 16th place machine for a stop.
We're starting to see cars on pit road. You see John Andretti on his pit stop. Other cars are coming down pit road. Again, I think Labonte has forced their hand, says you got to get them right sides. I've got them. Come on, guys, you got to get them with me.
The big key to this would be Tony Stewart, Jeff Burton, and Mark Martin, and how long they wait before they come down the pit lane. Predictions, Coach?
That was a great stop, by the way. 2 tires and get you enough gas to go, you know, Mike. Good stop by Bobby, so you're probably right. He is going to force some of the guys.
And by the way, while we're watching Tony Stewart lead, Dale Jarrett is closing on Mark Martin for 3rd position. So Dale is running down Mark just a little bit. He's within about 4 or 5 car lengths for that spot. Down the back straightaway, Chad Little slowing down. A little smoke from his machine. Maybe a problem there for Chad. As Tony Stewart, the race leader. Does he come to pit road? Yes, he does. Looking there at Dale Jarrett, trying to catch Mark Martin for 3rd. But here is Stewart going to short pit. This with 20 laps to go.
I'm going to tell you what, he did such a phenomenal job. The entrance to pit road was so fast. I thought I seen him pulling down on the racetrack, but he entered at such a high rate of speed. So he did his job there.
Marty Snyder will cover the Tony Stewart pit stop for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Wallace, you called it exactly right. Bobby Labonte forced their hand. They wanted to stay on old tires because they're great on these old tires. But Bobby Labonte forced their hand. With those right side tires, Bobby Labonte would be faster. So they're going to come in, take 2 tires, no adjustments, just fuel and 2 tires. Tony Stewart back out on the racetrack, 8 seconds flat.
Jeff Burton takes the lead after the stop, but here is Burton diving onto the pit lane. So that'll set Mark Martin up into the race lead if he doesn't stop this time around. Tony Stewart racing Bobby Labonte off the pit lane, off that access road, up onto the racetrack. Who's going to come out with the race lead? Into turn 3. Stewart still got the fender inside, side by side into the corner. Do they make contact, or does Bobby let him get it? Bobby's up the racetrack. Labonte's up out of the groove. Stewart will come out ahead of him.
Well, the coach is nodding his head here. Bobby had to run up on the outside of him there.
That was scary. That was scary.
I guarantee it was scary for Bobby, too.
Tony had the inside groove, and he didn't want to give it up.
Here's Dale Jarrett coming down the pit lane for service. Jarrett in with 17 laps to go. Jeff Burton has been in. Mark Martin is now the race leader.
You know, I would like to compliment how good a pit stop they had there, because he was about 2 seconds behind Tony Stewart, and they come out even there.
Let's cover the Dale Jarrett pit stop as he rolls into his pit stall. Marty?
Well, the 88 bunch did not want to stop the right side tires if they had to, but again, the hand has been forced by Bobby Labonte taking the right side tires. They just wanted to put fuel only. Robert Yates had it figured. They only needed 7 gallons. They're definitely going to get that as they change right side tires. 8.5 seconds for the would-be champion.
So Jarrett rolls back onto the racetrack, now waiting for Mark Martin to stop. There is Robert Yates, watching, I'm sure, very anxiously over his team's execution of that stop and their attempts to lock up the championship in these final laps. Here's Mark Martin, the race leader now. Let's go back and look once again into turn 3 as Tony Stewart tried to force his way up inside of his teammate Bobby Labonte.
Unfortunately, that could have been a very bad situation. It turned out because Bobby's such an experienced driver, but you actually see Tony get into him and get loose at the same time. Coach, unfortunately, or fortunately, they got away with it, but about had 2 wrecked race cars there.
Yes, we could have. And getting hit from behind there, too. That was close, very close.
Right now, I'm sure Bobby Labonte's driving his butt off. He probably didn't appreciate a whole lot of Tony not giving him a break, but aggressively get after him.
Let's go over to Brian Williams.
Well, we've been monitoring the radio traffic. It's a good thing it's not wire to wire, it's wireless, or they'd burn him up. This will come as no surprise. Bobby Labonte, not a happy driver right now. One of the quotes we can use on television was that Tony Stewart, quote, come out here with his new tires and run us into the wall. The talk is now among the spotters from the various teams, but it seems there is trouble in Joe Gibbs' driving paradise. Back up to the booth.
A comment?
Both these guys very, very competitive, and I think at any time, hey, right now, who can win the race? Both these drivers very competitive, and we've never had a deal in our race team. It's whoever can win it, and like you say, that was a very close call there. I think both these guys are very aggressive and wanting to win it, and I know how Bobby feels right now.
Unfortunately for Bobby, the little run up the racetrack has cost him quite a bit of ground. He's back into the 5th position because of that, remembering that Mark Martin and Kyle Petty, the top two, have yet to stop. Now, looking on the racetrack, a key pass about to happen. Tony Stewart getting around Jeff Burton there. Burton had actually beat Stewart off the pit lane, and so Tony has just gotten around him, and that was critically important if Martin and Kyle Petty both end up stopping for fuel. There you see Stewart coming to the bottom of the screen, having just executed the pass on Jeff Burton. So Burton's team actually got him off the pit lane first, ahead of Stewart, while we were watching Stewart and Bobby Labonte, but Tony ran him down and has gotten on by.
You actually seen in the corner there just still how good Tony's car is. Both the cars of Joe's are just excellent today.
Mark Martin is still the leader. When or will he come down the pit lane for fuel? We'll find out when we come back for the finish in just a moment. Martin, Petty, Stewart, and Burton, the top five. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.